Welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Jose Rivera. I am the CEO of Csia, and I will be your host today. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Csia, we are a global, non-profit trade association with over 500 member companies in 35 countries. To highlight just a few of the many member benefits, the Best Practices Manual guides control system integrator companies in the setup and running of a solid company. Any system integration company will benefit from the best practices, but earning the CSIA certification is a confirmation by a third party that you have deployed them correctly. For partner members, CSIA offers an ecosystem to grow their system integration programs, understand their customer pain points, monitor industry trends, and share their thought leadership. A trusted resource of qualified integrators and suppliers, the CSIA Industrial Automation Exchange helps system integrators, industry suppliers, and manufacturers connect and do business. For system integrators and partners, it provides a platform to support your content and search engine optimization marketing efforts, position your company and C-suite as thought leaders, and nurture prospects by providing a credible source for information about your company and its products. Finally, a reminder that in 2021, we will have increased access to knowledge sharing, community building, and networking through the year when you join or renew your CSIA membership. CSIA is committed to delivering extremely relevant content to system integrators while providing partner members access to a highly engaged audience. To that end, CSIA will deliver weekly virtual events on a broad range of topics and experiences, all of which are open to sponsorship. For more information about CSIA, membership, virtual events, and sponsorship and advertising opportunities, contact us at info@staff.controlsys.org. Before I introduce our speakers today, I want to remind you that we provide you the opportunity to ask questions. Please use the Q&A box for this, but we also welcome chat interaction and reaction to the presentation. So please use it, but keep the Q&A box for questions related to the presentation. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce now Mike Severino from Festo. Mike? You're on mute, Mike. Mike, you're on mute.
Okay. Thank you, Jose. Good morning, everyone, and the entire CSI community for allowing us the opportunity to present Festo today. Our Festo team will include myself, Mike Severino, National Sales Manager for Festo Life Sciences. We have Chris Navalio, Industry Segment Specialist, Life Sciences, and Bill Fontaine, Business Development Manager, Electric Automation. Festo is a global manufacturer, supplier of pneumatic and electric automation components and assemblies with over 30,000 employees, 173 offices worldwide, and over 100,000 unique products in our portfolio. Today, we are excited to introduce several recent released automation products that are helping transform process automation. Our first presentation will focus on recent advancements with what we term digital pneumatics, followed by a presentation on our next generation IO solutions. But first, as an intro to the Festo world of automation, we would like to illustrate our Hanover Fair booth as it was deployed for 2021. Obviously, it was deployed virtually, but in any event, it still was actually, displayed with all our dynamic and static assemblies that I think would be interesting. I'd like to say this is a look into the future for, when we can go back to something we all love and miss, trade shows and conventions. We close out the video with our latest bionic creation. For many years, Festo has looked at nature for inspiration. Our bionic solutions have become a YouTube sensation. I Our bionic butterfly recently was on the Tonight Show during one of Fallon's robotic segments. So without further ado, let me start the video and we'll go from there.
We're not seeing the screen, Mike.
We're not seeing the screen. Sorry about that, everyone.
Hi, and welcome to today's webinar. Let's look at today's agenda. I'll provide an introduction to Festo, a product overview. We'll discuss some ready-to-install solutions, along with the energy efficiency module. Intelligent automation begins with the right partner. Festo is that partner. Founded in 1925, we have over 21,000 employees, 33,000 catalog products. We're privately owned, and we have the flexibility and expertise to serve our customers. Your partner provides a path to the right technology. Let's take a look at the Festo automation concept. Products ranging from pneumatics to electric to process automation, all that can be combined in one common architecture due to our open connectivity. Our products and solutions are widely applied in a variety of industries. We back that up with a group of dedicated industry specialists. Our industry-specific solutions are tailored to your needs. What makes Festo unique is that we offer a wide range of products and solutions for factory, process, and lab automation. And within our standard catalog product offering, we can customize those to meet your specific needs. Here's an overview of our pneumatic technology. technology products. They range from air supply to fittings, actuators, grippers, and a multitude of valves and valve manifolds. Our electric automation products include linear and rotary actuators, servo and stepper motors, intelligent drives, and controllers. For a higher level control, we offer standalone PLCs for I/O and motion control. In addition, we can integrate the PLCs via our HMI, valve terminals, and machine vision. And finally, our valve technology products, which range from the media valves to dosing valves to Nemur pilot valves, and the accessories that provide control and feedback. So how does that benefit you? Well, we can provide a complete automation solution from a single source. And at the core of that solution would be our CPX-AP-I manifold. As illustrated here, our flagship CPX-AP-I valve terminal provides the ability to combine the electronics and pneumatics on a single node for easy integration into existing control platforms. And when you take full advantage of the diagnostics features built into the CPX-AP-I, you can rest assured that any downtime will be minimized or avoided. So, how do we go about configuring the CPX-AP-I terminal? Well, that's done via our Festo maintenance tool. It provides commissioning, testing, and configuration of the CPX valve terminal for a wide range of control platforms. One of the main features of the Festo maintenance tool is that once you go online, it'll provide an automatic configuration of the hardware. But if you choose to configure offline prior to receiving the hardware, you have that option as well. Seamless integration to DCS and PLC systems is possible with Festo Maintenance Tool export function. By utilizing this function, you can export all the tag structure information, including data mapping and description, all the signal properties, including scaling, diagnostics, into a config file, and export it to some of the major controllers listed below. Here's an example of the L5K export function. The first step, we would go online with the Festo Maintenance Tool to create the hardware config file. We would save that as an L5K and export that into Rslogix via working project. We would select the software version and controller type. We would then copy and paste that file from a working project to the main project, and then download to the Rockwell controller. This feature will save at least 30% in engineering and development time. So what are the benefits of the imported configuration into Rslogix? We end up with the correct data format and I/O size for all the devices on the CPX terminal. In addition, all the CPX parameters are stored in the Rslogix controller, including all the data mapping and tag descriptions. Now let's discuss control cabinet design options for both process and factory automation. Another aspect that makes Festa very unique is our customer solutions group. They can provide a wide range of control cabinets suitable for factory automation, process automation, and handling systems. We can tailor those cabinets to meet your specific requirements and provide a mix of technologies. At the end of the day, this is going to save time and cost for a ready-to-install cabinet solution, all from a single source. As you can see here, we can provide a myriad of products for your control cabinet solution, and we'll test assemble this at one of our 3 factories and ship it to you for a ready-to-install solution. It'll include the complete turnover documentation package, and we can even provide startup assistance during commissioning and validation. Our Customer Solutions Group has the ability to support large-scale projects. With factory locations in New York, California, and Ohio, we can support projects like MedImmune, where Festo supplied over 160 custom and standard design solenoid cabinets, or a greenfield project like Takeda, where Festo supplied over 200 standard and custom solenoid cabinets, or a plant expansion like GSK Montana, where we provided 50 standard design cabinets. Now I'd like to step you through some of our standard cabinet designs. Here's an example of ISO clean room. For the ISO clean room, you're going to find a higher grade of materials, NEMA 4X and UL rating, standard sizes of 16, 32, and 48, higher degree of filtration, and a wide range of analog and discrete I/O. However, for the mechanical room, you'll find a lower grade of materials, a more compact design, and a lesser degree of NEMA rating. And for the utilities area, you're going to find a more rugged design, higher flow pilot valves, UV rated black tubing, cabinets that can be mounted outdoors or on a process skid. And finally, the hazardous area, where it's imperative to have intrinsically safe I/O, Class 1 Div 2 rated components, and a NEMA 4X tight enclosure. Let's take a look at the energy efficiency module, the E2m. Today, end users are wanting more intelligence and energy savings built into their manufacturing processes. This means they want automation equipment that utilizes smart devices capable of collecting real-time data from their processes and turning it into saving both time and money. The E2m was designed to save energy by automatically shutting off the supply of air to a machine that has been sitting idle. This eliminates the continuous consumption of air due to system leakage, resulting in significant energy savings. Additionally, the E2m can monitor the machine's performance by collecting data on pressure, flow, and air consumption, assuring that the machine is operating at peak efficiency. The E2m modules comprise an electric on-off valve that's normally open, interface for integration into Festo's MS6 series air prep system, a power supply, a flow rate sensor, an integrated pressure sensor, status indicators, and you choose your fill bus. As the graph illustrates below, the E2m detects when the machine has been idle for a set period of time and automatically shuts off the flow of air, saves energy by eliminating continuous air consumption due to leakage. It will also perform an automatic leak detection during machine standby, which in turn saves energy. In summary, the E2m collects data through continuous process monitoring of flow, pressure, and air consumption, and machine cycles, helping prevent costly unplanned maintenance and assuring optimal performance. You may ask, how much can the E2m save on an annual basis? Well, the example below is for a machine that has a flow rate of 5,000 liters per minute. Assuming a 20% leakage rate, a production time of 16 hours per day, standby time of 8 hours per day, and 265 productive days, using the calculation tool below, with the MSE6 E2m, you could save nearly $2,500 per year. In addition to standalone mode, the energy efficiency module can be integrated into the MSE6 air preparation system, as shown here. Now let's talk digital pneumatics. The Festo Motion Terminal V10 is the world's first valve to be controlled using apps. Our motion apps allow you to integrate many functions using standardized hardware. Functions can simply be switched at the touch of a button. Thanks to comprehensive diagnostics, condition monitoring, and improved maintenance, productivity is increased and production complexity is reduced. Discover a new level of flexibility, one piece of hardware for all functions. Numerous functions can be combined with the same hardware, possible for the first time with the E2m. No modification, no additional parts, no arduous installation, none of that is needed anymore. With the matching Motion app, you can change functions at the press of a button, whether for a simple change in the directional control valve functions, general travel in the end positions, energy efficiency movements, or proportional characteristics of the motion profiles. That is how the Festo Motion Terminal combines the benefits of both electric and pneumatic automation. As you can see here, the Motion Terminal replaces over 50 components with one piece of hardware and combines the benefits of electric and pneumatic technology. Designing the intelligent valve is made possible by our patented Piezo Valve technology. As shown here, 4 pilot cartridges form a total of 8 proportionally controlled two-way valves. Thanks to the integrated sensors and proportional control, which allows the valves to be pressurized and exhausted independently. This single valve technology can be used to execute a wide range of conventional valve functions and full system solutions, such as soft stop. Now we're going to demonstrate the soft stop app. Notice the vibration in the machine. When we add shock absorbers, we eliminate some of the vibration. By adding a motion terminal and fast-acting sensors, we eliminate all the vibration. The directional control valve function offers maximum flexibility for special purpose machines as well as for handling systems. You can modify standard directional control valve functions such as 4-2, 4-3, 3-2 at any time and as often as necessary, even during operation, as illustrated now. This enables you to respond to a large number of requirements at the touch of a button. As you can see here, there are a number of apps available for the Motion Terminal, including the Supply and Exhaust Air Flow Control app, the Eco Drive app, the Selectable Pressure Level app, and the Leakage Diagnostics app, and many more. This concludes the first part of our presentation. I want to thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Chris. And for our next presentation, I will stop sharing and introduce Bill Fontaine once again.
Thanks, Mike. Let me start sharing my screen here.
Excellent.
And we'll get going. All right. Hopefully all of you can see me. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Fontaine. I'm responsible for business development of our electric automation products here at Festo. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have for IO solutions. Just to start, Festo is an automation company. Really, we talk a lot about pneumatics, but we're also a leader in our electric automation products. So that starts anywhere from PLC and motion controllers down to IO, servo and stepper drive, servo and stepper motors, and actuators, belt-driven, ball screw-driven actuators, both linear and rotary. So we really cover the gamut. We also can connect seamlessly to any manufacturer's PLC through field bus. So if you're using a Siemens or a Rockwell or another manufacturer of PLC or motion controller, using protocols like Profibus, Ethernet IP, Profinet, EtherCAT, and Modbus, easy way to connect up to our devices and control our devices. So two products I'm going to talk about today. In Chris's presentation, he brought up the CPX-AP-I. That's an IO product for us that can be used in cabinet or on machine and is physically connected to our valves. The IO I'm going to talk about today would be in cabinet IO, modular IO, that is centralized, and decentralized IO that's going to be meant to be on machine and exposed to elements, basically. Our in cabinet modular IO is our CPX-E product. We can support multiple protocols, so really seamlessly connectivity. We can save money over IO that's native on the PLC, and we're pretty compact, so we can fit a lot of dense IO in a small space, saving space in your cabinet. On the decentralized side, we can really put a whole lot of IO on one bus node. So one field bus connection will give you a ton of IO and allow you to bring those IO points all over the machine or all over your plant. We can do up to 50-meter cable lengths between modules, and our backplane is incredibly high speed. So I'll get a little bit more into each point of that. So starting with our CPX-E in cabinet IO product. So two major target use cases for this. So the CPX-E comes in a PLC version / motion controller, where you can run that alone. We use Codesys as a software, but you can run that alone. You can run full motion systems with drives. You can control digital IO and analog IO, as well as pneumatic valves and other products. Where the other flavor of the CPX-E can just be a complete remote IO system. So if you're using a host PLC, you can just use any of the field buses that we support and bring it out to a bus module and stack up the right types of IO blocks onto that you need. Again, it's very compact, it's dense, and saves you space in the cabinet. So here's an example of our CPX-E as a motion controller setup. So we do have an EtherCAT master built into it, so we can control EtherCAT devices. We allow you to connect with Profinet or Ethernet IP if you want to use a host PLC to connect up to it. And we do have a built-in switch on it. We can support full 3D interpolated motion. This again is meant for in cabinet, so it's an IP20 device. Getting into the modules that we support, there are a number of different types of PLCs and motion controllers you get, whether you're looking for interpolated motion or something that's not as powerful and a little less expensive. We can get down to a basic controller that doesn't have all the bells and whistles on it. In fact, like no EtherCAT master if you choose that. So, or you can get the bus modules that don't have real intelligence built into them, so no programming capability, but does allow you to expand your IO from your PLC. So you can buy one of those. And then the options that you have for IO would include a 16 digital input module. So 16 digital inputs in about 24 millimeters wide slice, 8 digital out module, a 4 analog in, a 4 analog out, also a IO link master that we can handle 4 IO link devices on, and a high-speed counter module. So fairly diverse cards that you can slide into this rack. One of the advantages of the CPX-E is that you can separate power and you can create power zones within the IO block itself. So if in the instance that you want to maybe cut off some outputs in a safety situation, you will be able to do that, but still have power to your data. So you're still going to have feedback as to what's going on in the machine. You're still going to be fully connected to the controller side of things, but your outputs can be shut off. So for each different output module, you have a connection. You can either daisy chain those from one to the other or put a separate power supply in. Onto our CPX-AP-I product. So this is our decentralized IO system. Fairly new product for us, been out in the field for about a year, and it's a fantastic product. So basically we have, the things to know about this is meant to be on machine, no cabinet needed for it. It has both protection that's rated for IP65 and IP67. So if you're in an environment where it's going to see a little bit of water and some dust, that's not a problem. We can control different IO modules with it, and that includes valve manifolds. So a simple setup, and this is kind of an example of how you may typically see it set up, is you're going to have your host PLC, whether it's ours and running EtherCAT, Siemens running Profinet, or Rockwell running Ethernet IP. And you're going to bring your field bus out to our bus module here. We then break off of that with a backplane that we call AP. It's a very fast and robust backplane where we can connect up to a number of different modules, and we can split off on 2 different sides of this. So you've got your field bus connection here with a switch built in, so you can connect an HMI or some other device. Now it breaks off into the AP backplane, and we can do up to 79 modules it's tested for now. Theoretically, we can do up to 500 modules hanging off of one bus node. So what's that allow you to do? So if you've got a, say an Allen Bradley PLC with a little less processing power, and that less processing power restricts how many IP addresses you have. Well, you can still hang a ton of IO off of one IP address. So it limits the amount of IP addresses you might need through your PLC. But it also makes for cleaner connections. So you basically can daisy chain the backplane up from one module to the next. And we've got power separated as well. So 24 volts, 4 amps. So we can separate the power. Again, in a safety situation, if you want to take one output block off power, say, or if you're going to be running things like valves and you need some extra power, you can put another power supply right in line there and feed that power to the valve manifold. Another example of how we are connected. So this is a closer look at the bus module itself. So you've got your field bus in, your field bus out. So it's got a built-in Ethernet switch. And then your AP can go out from here. And then you have power in and power out. And again, you just daisy chaining from device to device. We use M8 connectors for the power and for the backplane. These are standard Ethernet M8 connectors. There are multiple third-party manufacturers making. We make them and sell them. And then we have, there are other companies out there that make them. So they're standard cables. They are not proprietary to Festo at all. This illustrates a few different products of ours and kind of the what their capabilities are. So right now you can see the cycle time that we have on the CPX-AP-I is 250 microseconds in cycle time. So very fast backplane. We can do up to 15-meter cables between each module right now. We will have 50 meters available very soon. And we have tested it up to 80 modules off of one bus node. We do see the capability of being able to do 500 in the future, however. We can support a line topology, and there's also going to be tree and star added to that. So 4 different flavors of bus modules. The Ethernet IP bus node supports Modbus TCP as well. We have an EtherCAT version, a Profinet version, and a Profibus version. We have web servers built into these, so you can access parameter settings just by punching in the IP address into a browser and set parameters in this bus node, or you can use our free download Festo automation suite to add this into projects, connect up devices to it as well. So what do we have available for modules that can connect to these bus nodes? We do have digital input modules. So we have a 4 in and a 4 out that comes in both M8 and M12 variety. We have an 8 digital in, again in M8 and M12 connectors. And then we have a compact 4 digital in, so that it comes in M8 only. Our analog module supports both current measurements, so 0 to 20 milliamps and 4 to 20 milliamps, and voltage measurements, so 0 to 10. We can do plus or minus 10, plus or minus 5 volt, and we can support RTDs. We also have an IO Link master, and that IO Link master can support 4 IO Link devices on it. But again, because these are modular, and because you can extend these out, you can connect as many as you want up to these, tested up to 80 modules per bus node. So you can have multiple IO Link masters on this one bus node. You can have multiple analog, multiple digital in and digital out. The last part of what you can hook up to this CPX-AP-I bus node would be valves. So this supports our VTUG valve manifolds right now and our MPAL valve manifolds. These are popular valves for us, and we can handle up to 24 solenoids per valve manifold. To further illustrate how we can seamlessly connect with third-party PLCs out there, this gives you an idea. You really need just the bus node that supports, say, EtherCAT in the Festo environment, because we use EtherCAT masters. The modules and the valve manifolds all stay the same no matter what field bus you use. So in the Festo environment, we'll use EtherCAT, Beckhoff EtherCAT. Again, we'd have the same setup. Siemens, all you'd have to change out would be the bus module. Everything else would stay the same. Omron, EtherCAT, Rockwell, Ethernet IP, which in North America seems to be kind of the most popular. So again, you can connect up to any PLC you want with this architecture. So with that being said, I think we're moving on to Q&A time. So I'm going to pass it over to Mike. Thanks everybody for your time.
Thank you, Bill. Great presentation.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Mike. Very impressive. I want to remind our attendees to put their questions on the Q&A box. This way we can leverage the participation of Festo for all the questions. In the meantime, let me make a few comments and ask my own question. So first, thank you very much for the presentation. I think it was very impressive to see the product line from Festo, and always I have to remind myself to think beyond pneumatics. When I think of Festo, it's really impressive, the line that you have out there. And so I think that for some of our members, this is also a good reminder of the extensive offering you have. The comment of Mike about looking forward to attending trade shows and conventions, I couldn't agree more with you. Every time I go to one of these events, I seek your booth, because it's always impressive, the displays that you have with the jellyfish and all the systems. This video that you showed about the elimination of vibration, that is like very impressive, and I'm sure that I have seen that of one of your booths, because you see it, and it's really impressive to see how all this vibration gets eliminated. But let me ask you my question. So I used to service the life sciences industry, and I remember those huge projects that would take place And it was a full ecosystem of suppliers, ones providing machines, others doing the design at different levels, system integration, putting things together. And I know that the environments required a lot of very special things like all this filtration, and you mentioned all of that. What I'm really curious is, like, when you have these type of projects, how do you see system integrators participating? Are they part of the design? Are they just working to integrate? Are they providing solutions or suggestions to the pharmaceutical end users about how to leverage what they have? I mean, I'm really curious about what you see system integrators doing in these projects.
Sure. No, it's a great question, Jose, and thank you for all the kind words about Festa. So it varies, really. I mean, it depends on, the scope of the project, the size of the project, all the stakeholders. If you're looking at, very large grassroots project, I would say the engineering company or the EPC would probably have a lot of influence as to some of the automation decisions. But one thing that they do really well is they bring on, the automation experts, if you will, like a systems integrator, for consultation, for architectural design considerations, and just kind of laying out the whole process automation of the plant. But if you're looking at smaller, like just suite upgrades, a lot of times I think the system integrator will take the lead. And from a supplier standpoint, where we sit, we have to integrate with many different buying centers, if you will, or stakeholders. Sometimes we deal directly with the system integrator in a panel design, or his pneumatic architecture, if you will. Then sometimes, if the project's larger, we'll work with an EPC and the system integrator of choice. So it varies, but there's a tremendous responsibility, I guess I would say, for a systems integrator on pharmaceutical projects. Again, whether it be at the small suite upgrade, or kind of a full grassroots expansion, or greenfield project.
Oh, thank you very much. And yes, I remember the life sciences industry was very demanding, especially when it came to things like validation. So it was a very rigorous process. But I know that you're not just in life sciences. This was just one example that I thought was very interesting. For me, it was also very interesting to see how you're also having participation in environments, hazardous environments, like even either pharmaceutical or outside chemical industry. So you need to watch out with all the certifications there too. So
yeah,
so very interesting.
Well,
I'm looking and I don't see anybody with a question. Just reminding everybody that this is your opportunity to ask the questions.
One thing I will comment on, Jose, is I know that many of your SI members are extremely proficient in the pharmaceutical environment, especially with validation protocols, validation documentation. It's extremely rigorous, and you have quite a bit of expertise within the CSIA community. So hats off to those companies.
Thank you, and yes, what I like to show everybody when I make the presentations about CSIA is that the system integration industry is very broad, and when you take a look at what they do, you can find very different specializations, either by verticals or applications, or even within the vertical specific applications. So if you are going to be in life sciences, yes, you need to be very knowledgeable and capable to meet all the requirements for that. Very good.
Well, I think too there's increasing safety protocols in like food and beverage. So there's a lot of similarities starting to take place with just a GMP type environment, whether it be food and beverage, or biotech pharma. And again, I think, there's a tremendous amount of expertise within the CSIA community for both those industries.
So another comment while I'm waiting for other questions, but what I saw is the flexibility of your products to integrate with existing installations. And I think that that is like a very realistic way to not require just rip and replace, but leverage what you have and put these additional things, either a product like an extension or better capturing of what you already have, or inclusion of a robot or something like that. And the flexibility that you showed in terms of all the different protocols that you can interact with, the modularity that you have for your offer, the ability to deploy on the machine, connect those buses, that I think is very impressive and important for everybody on this call to keep in mind, because that is what is being required now in terms of transformation, digital transformation, and these upgrade projects. It's never about rip and replace. It's like make the best of what you have and just add and do selective upgrades. So that was
That's
like a very good offer.
Yeah, and especially with downtime being so costly, it's all about maintaining uptime with either machine, apparatus, skids, what have you. So it's a very good point.
And one of the things that just came to mind when I've been reading some articles about how the pandemic made a big mess in terms of consumption patterns. And so at the very beginning, toilet paper, was this whole issue. So put yourself in the shoes of the producer of those products, right? So toilet paper, aerosols, disinfectants, all of that, mega demand. And now when you read hand sanitizers, they're giving them away. So imagine you as an end user, you were forced to dramatically increase capacity to now bring it down to very likely below pandemic levels. And the same thing is now happening with consumer packaged goods. This sounds ridiculous, but it seems that deodorants and all these different things are now ramping up now that people are going back to the office. So I think what it's requiring end users is to have a lot of flexibility to be able to ramp up and ramp down production. And so the modern technology allows that, but it also needs to be in the heads, in the minds of the designers, right, to be able to cope with all those weird demand shifts and pattern shifts.
Sure.
All right. I don't see any more questions. I want to thank you all. I also want to have like one more conclusion slide, if you let me. Just one more second. So on behalf of CSIA, I would like to thank Bill, Christopher, and Mike for this informative discussion. I would also like to thank Festo for sponsoring this event. And of course, all of you for attending. I'd like to remind you that our recording will be available for viewing within the next couple of days. Please visit the CSIA website and view past virtual events you may have missed. Finally, and here's what this slide is about, to remind you that we have lots of events. So please book your calendars. These are the immediate next ones, and mark them on your calendar. It's a good investment of your time to stay updated, especially in the time where we cannot participate in all these trade shows that have been postponed. So with that, I thank you one more time very much. And we look forward to seeing you in person again. I think this will be coming down the pipe. Thank you very much.
Look
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.